were asked, well, what are the fundamentals of your group? They all responded time and again, I know nothing. I know nothing. So it was just a matter of time before they got dumb, the know nothing party. GHK Lall on the National Outlook. We've made it to the end of the week. I trust that your week is good. On Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. As we close out this week, I go to another something, and it's a big something that is disturbing. We are a country that knows nothing. From all appearance, nobody knows anything in this country. We're a pack of ignoramuses. I think we qualify to be idiots, given we are so blank on the things that matter. And I'll tell you why momentarily. In the United States, in the 1850s, that's what, 170 years ago, in the 1850s, there was a party, a political party that was, started as a nativist party. It was anti-Catholic, it was anti-immigrant because of the Irish and German influxes into the United States. It happens all the time. And the party became known as the Know Nothing Party. And why was that? Because it was a semi-secret organization. I thought it was a secret society. When its members were asked, well, what are the fundamentals of your group? They all responded time and again, I know nothing. I know nothing. So it was just a matter of time before they got dubbed the Know Nothing Party. And I'm using that now as background to come to talk about the know nothing people in this country. Nobody knows anything. Or as they say in Brooklyn, nobody knows nothing. Nobody knows nothing, right? Here's why. On the Kanji and Kaieteur blocks, and on oil in general, everybody was talking here about 2% and how it was a rip-off and lopsided and one-sided and dong-sided. And that's right. That's right. But now, nobody knows nothing about Kanji and Kaieteur. Look at it. Former President Donald Ramotar knows nothing, and his world is of silence. Former Minister of Natural Resources, Mr. Robert Prasad, knows nothing. I have current leader of the opposition, former senior head of the office of the president, through which all these things have to pass, knows nothing, or he doesn't know enough, according to him. My former, what shall I call him, boss, Mr. Trotman, at the former Minister of Natural Resources, he also says he knows nothing. So let's look at this. Who knows anything about this? Who knows something about Kanji and Kaieteur? The leading political figures, the leading political powers at the time didn't know, or they claim not to know. They need to know. They have to know. They must know. Again, we go back to something we spoke about recently, I think it was yesterday, I don't recall, and that camouflage. They know nothing today about our oil. Oil is the biggest thing around here. It's the most sparkling thing, the most talked about thing. It's returned to where it is. COVID-19 could knock it out. Elections knocked it out temporarily. It's back. Oil, oil, oil. How much are we going to get? How much should we get? Who got what with Kanji and Kaieteur? Who got what and why? I'll tell you what, it appears from the revelations, the disclosures in Kaieteur News, that some Guyanese partnering with foreigners and as way away as Israel, Canada, a little closer to home. They put their heads together with the political powers, or they were used by the political powers here in the PPP government to make things happen, to give away billions of barrels of oil equivalents with nothing coming here. What's wrong with us here? And yet they turn around and say, I know nothing. Suddenly men pick up a stammer and a stutter. Suddenly men are tongue-tied. Suddenly men lose their memories. They know nothing. Are we that ignorant? Are we that imbecilic? Don't pretend not to understand me, my fellow Guyanese. What I'm saying here, how can we not know? Should these people be all put in a mental institution? Should they be led away in handcuffs for just, I think people should be locked up for ignorance. I think they should be flagellated for ignorance, for this kind of ignorance. We're not talking about a cricket score. We're not talking about some minibus overload by Starbucks Big Market. We're talking about oil, the biggest thing in our history. So how can men who do not know? What we have is passing the buck, and understand this is strictly in the context of oil knowledge, oil awareness, oil familiarity. We're not talking here about any slurs or anything like that. Let me get clear in this hypersensitive, politically correct time. So I don't know, it might be taken out of context, it might be distorted. Quite frankly, it will be what it will be. This is where we are passing the baton and the buck down the line. This one didn't know and that one didn't know, from former president to former minister, to the GGMC, to the Department of Energy. Who's next? Who's the Department of Energy going to pass it to? The City Council? And who's the City Council going to pass it to? The garbage collection people? And who are they going to say, oh, it's lost in the dump site at Higgs Bush? Where's this thing going to end? Why do we still have these people around? Government and opposition, why do we have them around? These are the people managing our oil. These are the people overseeing it. These are the people looking out for our interests. But somebody's got to get real here. By now, the results of the US elections, well, I hope, should have been conclusive enough. So we're hoping maybe to get a visa. Things will settle down over there. So we don't have to worry about Exxon and Hess and the Chinese company and who's ripping us off and who's conspiring with who, which makes all our political powers and players suddenly not know anything. This is criminal. This should be made a capital offense. This is treason. I would hang some people for that. Think about that. Until the next time, GHK Lall on Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM. Thank you for joining us on the National Outlook. And do have a good weekend. And may November be blessed.